All right. Well, Kevin, thank you for hopping on this call with me. I really, really appreciate it. I've been excited for this call for a while now. And this is part of our series that we just call the Amplify REI show, where we get on the phone with awesome rock star investors that are just totally crushing it in their markets. And we get to learn from you. So I'm really excited. Thanks for hopping on the call, Kevin. I appreciate it.
Right. And thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, let's just jump right into it. So you've been working with us at Amplify for a little while now, but I want to roll back the clock a little bit and ask you first, how did you get into real estate investing? And tell me a little bit about that first deal you ever did.
Oh, wow. That first deal. So I actually got into real estate investing because I got tired of sitting on the sideline. I'd been interested in it for a while and didn't really know quite how to get into it. I always thought you had to have a lot of cash and, big reserves. And then I found out about wholesaling. So my very first deal I got from driving with dollars. I was going door to door, taking pictures, sending out postcards, and that was my very first deal. And man, that I remember the day I got the phone call from the first, postcard. The phone rang, and it's Sunday afternoon. I'm at the family house, having Sunday dinner, and so it was kind of odd for the phone to ring because everybody was there that I thought I talked to. And so I get the call, and I pick it up and look at my then girlfriend. I'm like, hey.
It's them. I got the call.
And I can see she's like, I'm like, so
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. And went on to close that deal probably 45 days later.
Wow. Okay.
With the help of my mentor. Yeah.
Nice. Right on. So it was driving for dollars. You were just looking what properties look good. You sent them a postcard. They called you back. Great. And that first one called you back and you were able to wrap them up and do I'm assuming the wholesale deal, right?
Yeah, it was a wholesale deal. It was a couple that had left their house, and the grandchildren actually had custody of the house. So we just did that way. Paid off the reverse mortgage, and after reverse mortgage, we were able to put money in the pocket of the children, the grandchildren.
Great. Yeah. That's fantastic. And that kind of gave you that little taste. And from there, I'm assuming it was just like, man, I need to do more of this. I'm all in. Or where were you kind of at that point?
That's like putting blood in the water with a shark. So yeah.
Yeah. So from there, how long ago was that? And where are you at now?
So that was 2019. That deal closed October 2019. Fast forward, my next deal, I made 5 times as much in a deal. And the next deal I actually did it because with the help of you guys. See, I realized that I didn't want to drive for dollars my whole, career. I mean, while it was profitable, it wasn't equitable. I was trading time for money.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to try to always convince somebody of, hey, why you should sell your property. Luckily the first deal I had, they had just had a deal that their deal fell through beforehand. So that's why I was able to, finagle that one so easily because they were already in the mode to sell. And I realized that being that if they're not ready to sell, there's a lot of geographics and juxtaposing you have to do to try to convince them. And I didn't want to convince them. I wanted motivated sellers that wanted to say, hey, if you can give me what I want for my house, then let's go for it. And it makes the process a lot smoother, a lot easier. And so I searched, I looked around and, looked for a company that could deliver that to me in a form that I could manage. And that's how I found you guys.
Awesome. Yeah. And then since then, obviously things have gone pretty well at this point. I think you were telling me you put 8 homes under contract, closed a few here and there. So tell me about like the most recent deal you've done and what you learned throughout that process.
Okay. So the most recent deal I did is a trailer home in Manville, Texas. And it is, I actually had to use creative financing with them only because to get the deal done and actually make a profit and then, get the sellers what they wanted for the house, there was very slim margin. And so I noticed the seller had some things around the house, that they were getting rid of anyway. And so this is the first deal I've done. I'm actually getting paid in a Harley. So part of the deal, I'm getting a 2007 Harley.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super exciting. So what did you learn throughout that process? Just that, hey, if there's a will, there's a way. I can find a way to close any deal as long as I find the tools and the resources and I can get a little creative. Did that open your eyes to maybe more options available to you?
That was definitely it. It's about being flexible. It's about, trying to find a way to make the deal happen and make sure the sellers are happy too. Because they wanted to do the deal, but at the same time, that was their house for so long. And so we worked far and hard on this deal. I had a disposition team, and it was just about making sure that the sellers walked away with a happy feeling. Like they didn't feel like they were cheated out of anything or they left money on the table, but they felt like they were compensated fairly. And that's all I wanted to do was making sure, in any deal, make sure my sellers feel like they're compensated fairly, and that when they walk away, that they made the best deal possible.
Yeah, this is something we see very consistent with the investors that we work that are just crushing it, seeing success, closing deals. They're
Mhm.
focused on, yeah, they need to put cash in their pocket and they need to make a profit and make money. It's a
Yeah,
business, right? But also when you go into it with, hey, I need to serve this seller the very best I can,
exactly.
you tend to be able to see more success. We've worked with people that are just kind of sharks out to get as much money from anyone. They'll cut corners, they'll do whatever it takes. And to be transparent, those people have not seen success with us here at Amplify.
Yeah.
But those like yourself that are focused on the seller, really trying to find solutions, they tend to see more fruitful success, and they tend to be able to see longer and more long-term success, because you're not just building. We always talk about at Amplify building a pipeline,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And how it's so important to be building and nurturing those relationships, because these are people, and these are people dealing with most likely the biggest investment they've ever made, their home. And that's a sensitive subject. And if you're not focused on the relationship, you're not going to see the long-term success that you're hoping for. So do you feel like you found that to be true as you've really dove in into real estate?
Oh, it's definitely a relationship business, because the first deal that I actually got through you guys and closed, they were so happy that the daughter actually came to me and said, "Hey, I like what you did with my mom. Can you sell my house?"
Oh, wow.
So yeah, you know, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to, just because of the nature of the house. But I mean, we still have a great relationship to this day. Where I call, say, "Hey, tell your mama said hi. How are you? And how's the house going?" And so it's a relationship. So even though I wasn't able to, because of market conditions, I was still able to, gain trust.
Mm.
So I'm pretty sure if something comes up down the pipeline, she'll say, "Hey, I know this guy that can do this. He did it for my mom, wasn't able to do it for me, but I've earned that, I've earned that respect, and I've earned a new friend."
Yeah.
So I love it. I love it.
That's awesome. Yeah. So tell me, so I know you put, you said what, 8 homes under contract
Yeah,
in
I'm
total with Amplify. Some of those you're still working on, and you've closed about 2 or 3 deals. You're closing on one here pretty soon, right?
correct.
So what would you say your experience has been like working with us here at Amplify? Is it an enjoyable experience? Have you seen it benefit your business?
It's definitely benefit my business. I've definitely, like I said, it what I wanted to do, and not having to drive for dollars anymore and actually find quality leads. It's done that. It's given me that.
Right.
So I mean, that was my expectation.
And
And just getting it to a point where I could manage it. I still work a full 9 to 5 job, but if you can call it that, I work at nights. So this is perfect for me. So, I'm, in the daytime, there's some of the time I'm sleeping. And that's the other reason why I didn't want to do driving for dollars, because it takes up a lot of time doing that.
mm,
So I want to be able to, come off my night job, get some rest, be able to make phone calls, go do appointments, and kind of, schedule it to where I could manage it within my lifestyle. A lot of people think that you can't do a 9 to 5 and do this, and it's not true. You just have to make smart moves. And
yeah.
that's
Wow.
yeah,
That's impressive, man. That's a lot of hustle. That's a lot of discipline to stay organized. But
yeah.
it sounds like then that you're really utilizing the tools that we've provided, like the CRM and stuff, to help you stay
Oh
organized.
yeah.
Have you seen that really transform how you've managed your time?
It really is. It really is. Now, I will admit, at first, I was a slack on the CRM, so I I'm not a big paperwork guy. And it's not paperwork, but still. But I mean, once I actually sat down and played around with it, I mean, it's an awesome tool. It's an awesome tool. It helps keep me organized, and it helps, with follow up, where I'm not actually following up. The CRM's following up for me, but it is in my name, so I can keep constant contact with people, that I want to. So I mean, on a 6 month nurture, I don't have to worry about, okay, when I was supposed to call this guy, when, it does it for me, and then lets me know, hey, this guy's ready, or this person's ready to have a conversation. Just this morning, I'm getting conversations from people, in the CRM that's corresponding with them, and saying, "Hey, I'm ready. Like, give me a call at 2 p.m. or give me a call at this time." And I'm like, okay, sure."
Yeah, I guess I can fit that in.
Yeah, and it's a great tool. So it's actually like a virtual assistant. It is. I mean, that's what it is. It's a virtual assistant that I can count on, and I can just go through and say, okay, and respond to their message, in the CRM, and let them know, okay, that's fine, we can do that. Love it.
That's awesome, man. Well, that's really exciting. It sounds like I've been really grateful to hear that we've been able to really take back your time and allow you to focus more on closing deals and really working with motivated sellers rather than spending all your free time driving around, sending postcards, doing all that manual work.
Yeah.
That's one of our big things that we focus on, is really helping our investors take back their time, because it's time consuming. It's, you kind of are at the will of when the seller's ready to move. But if we can help organize those as much as we possibly can, it sounds like it's been a huge benefit to your life and how your business has been able to grow.
It definitely has, Brian. It definitely has been. And I appreciate you guys immensely. And like I said, I don't see this changing anytime in the near future. So I'm ramping up to get, even more scaling done so I can maximize even more.
Great. That's exciting. So let me ask you this one final question. What advice would you give to a brand new investor just getting started?
I would give them advice to just, be realistic about your goals. You see a lot of gurus and mentors and, charlatans, online,
Yeah.
and just, find a proven process, that, you can work. Then don't try to, you see people that make supposedly 40, 50, 80 grand, on their first deal. That's not realistic. Be realistic about your expectations would be my biggest advice. Set it, make it manageable. Don't think that you're going to go into this and make 80 grand. If you set your expectations that, hey, I'm going to make enough to cover my marketing for the next month, that's my goal. And then, double from there and keep it that, then you make it to where it's manageable and realistic. But I see a lot of people get frustrated and not do it. And also, I guess for me, my personal thing, another piece of advice I would give is to get off the bench, get off the freaking bench. I see a lot of people that, and myself included, that just sit back on the sidelines and watch and try to figure out how to do it. So, talk to people and in your industry and see. Like I said, my mentor that helped me with my first deal, helped me find the buyer for my first deal with the seller. Really great guy here in the Houston area. And, without him, that deal would have never came through because I didn't have the resources to find the buyers. I had the seller, but there's that missing equation with the buyer and the other end. So, just get all your ducks in a row and don't be afraid to network with people and do it, but get off the bench. That's key.
Yeah, that is awesome. Definitely. I think a lot of people create some virtual or dream that, I'm going to get into wholesaling because I watched some webinar about some guy that's crushing it, and I'm going to go and call 10 sellers. I'm going to make 80 grand. That's not reality. Now, people do make that on wholesale deals.
Exactly. It's possible.
But they're like grand slams or like a perfect game. They don't happen super often.
Right.
And we're really focused more on the base hits, like the $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 wholesale assignment fees. If you're doing those consistently, building that pipeline, you're going to turn into a really profitable business.
Exactly.
It's going to become a lot more reliable compared to just really holding on to I'm going to get these huge grand slams that's going to feed me for the next 6 months, right? We really are focused more on helping people build consistency. And then, get into the game. If anybody can do it, you've shown that. If you saw, I'm going to start putting in the work, and you'll realize quickly there are so many people out there that are anxious to help. I know if you start networking and you build those relationships, people want to help. And there's also tons of ways to do JV deals and find people that are going to partner with you and just learn from them. If you're hesitant about jumping into the game, don't be. The best way to do it is just to act and start taking those first steps to start seeing success. So
exactly. I agree. But you got to take the first steps.
Got to take the first steps. That's on you. But well, Kevin, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. We wish you nothing but success in the future. And I'm excited to hear about the many more deals that you're going to close with us here at Amplify.
Oh, you'll see it in CRM. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thanks again, Brian.